as a guest star too, but he doesn't have a whole lot of credits, but not a whole lot of stuff I recognized at least. But
he wasn't long for this world either.
No, he was not. He only made it 5 minutes into the episode. So so that's the deal. So basically what happens is he gets shot in the head. The Kemp guy, who's the enforcer, decides he wants the $250,000, and then not long after that, the enforcer leaves with the girl because Raylan shows up. And it turns out TC has the cash because we see the cash. He's got it in a bag. It's not in Bitcoin. It's not in ones and zeros. He doesn't need to move it. He's got literally a bag full of cash. And what I like about it is that he's a dumb criminal, right? And the writers and the director remembered that he's a dumb criminal. So when he goes, "What, do you think I just have a bag full of cash over here?" He literally pointed at the bag full of cash he had in his apartment. And if the enforcer were smarter about it, he would have seen exactly what he did. So, like, I have no doubt that Raylan or a law enforcement officer who was paying attention would have picked up on that gesturing that he did. But the criminals don't pick up on it. So I thought that was pretty funny. But anyway, so the enforcer leaves with the girl, goes down the stairs. On his way down the stairs, he says, Raylan says, "Hey, how's it going?" The guy goes, "Oh, do I know you?" He gets like, if you're running away from what you think is a cop, you've got a woman at gunpoint, and the guy says, "Hey, how's it going?" Your immediate response is to get confrontational. That's pretty dumb. Like, do I know you? Well, I'm Deputy U.S. Marshal Raylan Givens is what he says. And then the guy gets jovial with him and he goes, "Oh, well, I'm Dr. Richard Kimball."
Which is pretty funny.
Which is a hilarious line. Raylan cracks up. It's great. And then when Raylan goes in and confronts TC and sees the blood stain and the dead body, TC jumps out the window with his fake leg and takes it off before he jumps out, which is very One-Armed Man-esque, I thought. So that's a cute little parallel, VJ. I see what you did there.
Yeah. Well, I like that. Okay, so in the Fugitive movie with Harrison Ford, right? He jumps off the waterfall, right? And the
spillway or whatever it is.
The spillway, it does the Peter Pan over the thing, and then in the sequel to that, U.S. Marshals, it's Wesley Snipes. Basically, he jumps out of the window. Or with the thing, and then here he is just going down a fire pole. Yeah, just like on a smaller scale.
Yeah, because Wesley Snipes jumps onto a moving train.
Yeah, on a moving train. Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's just sliding down a light pole.
Now he only had one leg, so that's but I just like that. It's just funny.
It's so good. Well done. Writers and producers, well done. We appreciate it. We see what you did there. We really enjoyed it. Thank you. So let's take a quick. Well, you know what? I'm gonna allow Tim to recap what happens when Raylan confronts TC.
Wait a minute. How many legs does this guy have again?
Just the one, plus the prosthetic he took with.
When he jumped out the window, thus escaping the scene of a murder.
He was surprisingly fleet.
Huh.
What about the guy from the stairs?
What about him?
You think he was involved?
Sure, why not?
Between the one-legged evaporating computer nerd and the walk-in this morning, you're on fire today.
How is it Art's not in here giving me shit on this? Hard for me to fathom his passing the opportunity.
Shutdown notice isn't on the site anymore. Fleming replaced it with a link to his blog. A big bold post about how he just made this marshal his bitch.
I'll find him.
No, Tim and I'll go after Hopalong. You see if you can run down the asshole from the stairwell.
Got through his leg out the window, jumped out, and then slid down a light pole, and they gave me the bird. Come on, I love this guy. Let me catch him.
Not this time, Raylan.
Is this part of the chief?
What do you think?
Catch up with the boy. We'll give you a call before he busts down the door.
Sure, I'll be right here on the edge of my seat. Hey, Chris, right?
Yeah.
Is there any way to put a reply on TC's blog?
God, no. Technology to reply to a post is decades away.
What a dick. So, let me ask you a question. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say because he was the same IT guy way back when he was helping with the like set up the computer link with Art wanted to talk to the bank robber.
Yes,
That was the same guy.
Yeah. The same ginger IT guy.
Yeah. And at that time, I think he was just must have been new in the office or something like that, because he wasn't as sarcastic as this time around. He wasn't as like
it's one of those things where
everything's
it's like, yeah,
happen.
Exactly. You've had to deal with these guys for years, and you're like, oh my god, I can't stand these bastards. I just want to get done here and go back to my IT hole.
Yeah. The only cool guy is Nelson at the office.
Yes. Yeah. So funny.
He's the only one who's nice
Nelson.
to me.
Yeah. He's nice because he's nice to everybody.
Yeah. And everybody else in the office hates him.
Yep.
All the marshals do, at least.
So let me ask you a question. Why is Raylan screwing up so bad? I mean, if we look at this, like, he's got the walk-in, which he wasn't prepared for, obviously, but still, he doesn't think we need to secure that cache in that website. So Rachel has to remind him of that. He goes to TC's apartment and essentially lets TC get the drop on him twice with the dead body and the jumping out the window. And then and when he's on his way up to the office, his spidey sense doesn't go off when Kemp and Candace are coming down the stairs and he's holding her at gunpoint. So his like instincts have been just complete garbage. And when Rachel correctly points out that, hey, what if the guy coming down the stairs had something to do with what was going on in the room there, or in the apartment there, he's like, okay, let's say it did. Like it's the most ridiculous thing anybody's ever come up with, right?
Yeah.
So it feels like he's very much off his game, and I'm trying to figure out, is it intentional? Is he doing it to piss Art off, to get his attention so that he can, try and make things better between them? And that's his kind of way of acting out and getting attention. Or is he just so distracted by what's going on with Art and the Crows and Allison that he's kind of crappy at doing the stuff in his job that he wasn't crappy at before? Like, I mean, we've said on this podcast before that Raylan's not great at the job part of his job, but he's got good instincts. Now his instincts seem to be failing him.
It's possible. I would say it's you unload this burden that he had onto Art, basically, and now he's probably trying to figure out how to. I don't know if it's getting his good graces again, or because I don't know if that's really what he cares about, but it is maybe trying to maybe just recover.
Yeah.
Just to get back in and try and maybe just off his game because of that.
It could be. I mean, it's probably a very stressful situation. So.
Oh yeah, it's a hostile work environment.
Yeah. And crap details. So.
Yeah, and shit details. Yeah.
So, well, we'll wrap up this storyline because the fun part is pretty much already over. But Raylan decides to taunt TC online. Then later, Raylan and Allison are having a drink. She's telling him about how she got suspended because of Wendy Crow. They're having a drink or several drinks. And Raylan goes to pay. His card gets declined, and he gets a call from TC, who has locked down his card and drained his bank accounts. And Raylan takes it rather well, tells him, hey, I'm going to catch you tonight, or I'm going to catch you tomorrow. But then he decides he might catch him tonight anyway. And they trace the call that the guy made back to a hotel room. And of course, the hotel room that they traced it to are Candace and Kemp, not TC. And Raylan is disappointed. But the girlfriend gives up TC's location because he's a dick. And Raylan busts him. So go ahead.
How do you think that he was able to find that? Maybe it's not a random hotel. Maybe that was like their go-to or something like that, like escape plan or something. But it doesn't seem like it would be.
He might have been in contact with them, like to say, "Hey, I've got the money. I can bring it over. Where are you?" or whatever. Yeah. It could be.
Yeah.
And so, or the guy told him, hey, you need to bring it here at this time or whatever. And so he, figured out, oh, there's the Wi-Fi there, and I'll just patch into that.
Yeah.
But on his way to jail, TC brags about being caller number 7, which is, he says he knows how to win radio contests using his phone phreaking. And you can basically lock out everybody else from calling, and you're guaranteed to win every time. And we find out at the end of the episode after he and Art and Raylan have a bad conversation where they show things down. Raylan confronts him and asks for a transfer to anywhere. He says he wants to transfer to anywhere other than where he's at, and that he's going on vacation because he's going to Florida with money he won in a radio contest. So this is Raylan kind of doubling down on being unethical. It's like, Art, you're already pissed at me because I arranged for the assassination of a mobster on a runway airstrip in a limousine last year. But I'm sure you won't mind if I use the illegal phone phreaking skills I just obtained from my convict to win radio money.
If I recall, because this has to be like going back to the phone phreaking stuff, there were people who were like, they were winning like hundreds of thousands of dollars in prizes and stuff like that, calling to these radio shows. Yeah. I
always think of Real Genius, the movie Real Genius with Val Kilmer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And there's a guy who lives in the steam tunnels, Laszlo Holyfeld, and his whole like career essentially is entering in the Frito-Lay sweepstakes or whatever, and he wins the RV and all the stuff because you don't have to purchase anything, so he's just printing off. He's got like this conveyor belt operation of filling out these entry forms and shipping them in. So it always reminds me of that. But so Raylan is going to go to Florida. He says he's going to take Allison with him. He's got the money. She's got suspension. He's taking the vacation. So he says, hey, let's go. And they make arrangements to go to Miami. And that's kind of the end of the B plot, the TC Raylan Allison B plot. There's a little bit of a Wendy kind of subplot in there where Wendy has essentially told, and I have this, which will
you use your tongue prettier than a $20 hole.
It's not a word of the week, but it's a phrase of the week, and it's alienate your affection by working her feminine wiles, which I thought was pretty entertaining. Apparently, one of the things that Wendy told Allison was that she was going to try to steal her man. So that's funny. And Raylan has drinks with her at the end of the episode, has drinks with Wendy, and she's flirting. He's trying to get her to flip on Daryl. He explains to her that Daryl killed Dilly. And she's like, oh, I haven't thought about Dilly since the first episode of the season. You're right. Daryl probably killed Dilly. And she realizes she had never thought about it. And then he turns her down. Like, she's trying to seduce him. She's like, I'll come back to my room. I've got another bottle up there. And he turns her down and ditches her with the tab. So I thought that was pretty good. He's like, my card's not working right now. So I thought that was
he didn't get what he wanted, so I'm out.
No, and it's so funny because they're both there for a transactional relationship. Yeah. They just
they just couldn't come to an agreement on terms.
They couldn't agree on terms because their objectives weren't aligned.
I was just thinking about The Sopranos where they were talking about Vito. And when they were all sitting around, oh, what are we gonna do with him? And then what was the name of the kid? Finn. Yeah, like they were telling him,
I know exactly what scene you're talking about.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we're gonna get him some therapy or something like that.
That's the one where he's like, so when Vito was sucking that guy's dick, or so when Vito was getting his dick sucked, where was it? And he goes, no, Vito was the one doing the sucking. He's a Peter Puffer. Like, it's totally okay if he's getting his dick sucked, but it's a bridge too far.
I wanted you to like set like so I could have that sound clip where he's all, "What do we need to do?" Because before that, it was always like hearsay or whatever, and it was like, "What do we need to do? See Vito taking the ass?"
Yeah.
Like, oh, like